Welcome into Garnet and Gold Grub, presented by Tico People's Gas. I'm Catherine Phillips alongside award-winning chef Travis Johnson. He's the Executive Culinary Director of Seminole Dining here on the campus of Florida State, and he's going to walk us through a delicious game day recipe today. Chef, we've got something for breakfast.
We do. It is game day, and there are hungry people out there, and you are hosting. We're going to make a breakfast hash that will make you a lot of friends.
Those are the recipes we like.
Yes, and it seems like a lot of ingredients, but it is fairly simple. And again, you can take these ingredients and take them to any level that you'd like.
Okay.
All right, so we have basic ingredients today. We took some Idaho potatoes and we diced them up, and then we par blanched them last night so they're ready for the morning. Okay. And basically we boiled them and then cooled them back down and put them in the cooler. And then we also did a breakfast sausage, which we prepared ahead of time. And so getting a few of these things out of the way makes a big difference come time for execution, or game time, as we should say. So we're gonna cook in a large cast iron skillet today over natural gas. And the cast iron skillet's great for this recipe because when we finish sauteing all the ingredients and bringing everything together, we're gonna pop this in the oven to finish it off today.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start out with a little bit of oil. And then we're gonna layer in our onions first. So we always start with our onions. We want them to cook the longest. We're gonna caramelize the onions. We're gonna bring out a lot of the flavor, a lot of the sugars in them. And I don't know, I like my breakfast a little bit spicy.
Same.
And so we'll go through the peppers. So we're gonna start out by putting in our red and green peppers. And the red and green peppers are gonna add a lot of texture. They're gonna add quite a bit of flavor, but not a lot of heat.
Now this is cooking on natural gas, so what's the advantage of that?
Chefs love natural gas. We really get ultimate control over what we're doing, so we want that gas nice and hot, and we get it instantaneously. So it really gives us control over cooking, and we like to work with that.
Okay.
So we have 3 peppers left on the table. We have our jalapenos, our poblanos, and our serranos. We'll start out with the least of the spicy, and we will continue to layer up, and we'll finish it off there with the serrano peppers. All right, now as this cooks, we're gonna add some garlic and some salt and pepper. I always like to use kosher salt. It's a lot more palatable and you don't need as much of it to bring out the flavor. Now that we have this seasoned, just gonna cook down these peppers for a couple minutes. And next we wanna add our potatoes. Can you hear that?
I hear it and I smell it. It smells so good.
Now we're gonna allow this to cook because we want to brown all the potatoes. We're not gonna wanna move the potatoes around quite a bit. We want them to cook.
Okay.
So we're gonna let that cook for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll revisit it and flip them around.
So don't stir it.
Don't stir it.
All right.
All right, let's check on the hash. You see the beautiful brown, it's starting to brown. You're seeing all that color. All right, next we wanna add egg. This is a complete breakfast all in one skillet.
Eggs, potatoes.
Eggs, potatoes.
Got some vegetables.
Sausage. All right, and the eggs cook very quickly, so we just need to flip this through at 30 seconds or so. All right, now let's add our sausage. Remember, we cooked this last night as we were preparing, and we cooled it back down. It's ready to go for today. That is looking awesome. Now that we've got all the color that we want off the cast iron and that direct heat, now we're gonna pop this in the oven to finish it off. Before we do so, let's add some cheese. This is just a shredded cheddar. Now we're gonna pop it in the oven, and we know that all the vegetables and potatoes and everything are already cooked, so all we're doing in the oven is really just melting the cheese. And while it's cooking in the oven, I'm gonna show you a trick that's gonna really wow your friends when you see this dish.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna pop this in the oven. While our breakfast casserole is baking in the oven, let's go ahead and fry some eggs to put on top.
Oh.
So we start out with a non-stick skillet under medium to high heat. We're gonna use a little bit of butter for our fat. And I went ahead and just pre-cracked the eggs so they're ready to go. All right, and as those are cooking, I like to season them with a little kosher salt and cracked black pepper. Let these cook. All right, as these eggs finish up, let's check on that casserole in the oven.
Okay.
Wow, that looks incredible. So here's how we're gonna finish this off. I guess if you're the lucky 4, you'll end up with the eggs. And put some fresh green onions on here. have to do the sour cream.
That is everything I want for breakfast in one pan.
Right there. We're just gonna dollop this on. What about some fresh pico? Here in the middle. And top it off with the avocado. You will be the life of the party.
It looks perfect.
All right, you ready to taste?
I'm ready.
So there's a few different ways you can serve this. You can cut up some French bread and just serve it around the side. Then everyone can just dig in and have a bite. Or personally, I gotta do a breakfast tortilla.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
I'll have a breakfast taco.
Okay. Scoop up everything in here.
Thank you.
All right, should we give it a shot?
Let's try it.
That's really good.
Big fan. For full details on this recipe and more information on how you can incorporate natural gas at home, at your business, or at your next tailgating event, go to peoplesgas.com/cooking.